The sun was high over downtown Chicago, casting sharp reflections off glass, towers and warming the stone plaza, outside a massive government-funded medical research center where donors, politicians, officers, and media were gathering for a daytime ceremony, and among the well-dressed crowd stood a tired, single dad named Daniel Carter, holding the hand of his 8-year-old son Noah. His clothes were clean, but worn. His shoes scuffed his face. Lined with exhaustion and quiet dignity, Daniel had not come for attention. He had come because this building carried the last promise his late wife had believed in, and because someone inside had once saved his child when no one else would. Listen, he stood near the entrance, holding a folded envelope containing documents and an old military badge. Security guards in black suits watched the crowd closely, and one of them noticed Daniel. Immediately his eyes narrowed. Judging the man by his appearance, the guard stepped forward, blocking Daniel's path, and asked sharply, "Sir, you cannot stand here. This area is reserved." Daniel calmly explained that he had been invited years ago and that he only needed a moment to deliver something important, but the guard shook his head and motioned to another guard. People around began to stare. Noah squeezed his father's hand tighter. Daniel felt the familiar burn of humiliation, but stayed calm, saying, "Please, my son and I will leave right after this." But the guards moved closer, one reaching for Daniel's arm as if to escort him away, and that was when a young woman's voice cut through the noise. "Stop right now," everyone froze, turning toward a confident woman in her late 20s, dressed in a simple, elegant dress, walking quickly toward them. Her posture was strong, her eyes sharp, and when the guards saw her, their expressions changed immediately. One whispered, "Mom, this area is restricted," but she ignored him and walked straight to Daniel, kneeling slightly to Noah's level and smiling softly. "Hello, Noah," she said, and the boy's eyes widened in recognition. He whispered, "Miss Emily." She then stood and faced the guards with controlled anger. "Do you know who this man is?" The guards hesitated. One said, "Mom, we were just doing our job. He does not have clearance." Emily's jaw tightened. "This man," she said, pointing gently toward Daniel, "is Daniel Carter, former Army combat medic, recipient of the Silver Star, and the man who carried me out of a burning convoy in Kandahar when I was bleeding out and unconscious." The plaza went silent. Murmurs spread like ripples in water. Cameras lifted, security stiffened. Emily continued, her voice steady but emotional. "When everyone else ran, when the vehicle exploded, when my father was told to prepare for the worst, this man stayed. He shielded me with his own body, treated my wounds with shaking hands, and whispered stories about his newborn son to keep me alive." Daniel looked down, overwhelmed, memories flashing. The guards stepped back, stunned. Emily turned to Daniel, her eyes soft again. "You saved my life," she said, "and you saved my future. The general, my father, is inside today because he wanted to honor heroes like you, and you are being treated like a criminal because you look tired, because you are a single father, because you do not wear a suit." She then raised her voice so everyone could hear. "Years later, when my own medical condition worsened and no one could find the right diagnosis, this same man spent nights researching, calling favors, writing letters, and sending me to the only specialist who could help. He never asked for money. He never asked for recognition. He only asked that one day kindness be returned." The crowd was silent, some people wiping their eyes. The guards now stood rigid, embarrassed. One of them apologized. "Sir, we did not know." Daniel simply nodded, holding his son close. Emily took the envelope from Daniel gently and looked inside, recognizing the badge and documents. She inhaled sharply. "Dad has been searching for this," she said. He thought it was lost. Daniel smiled faintly. "Your father gave me that badge when I left the service. He said I wanted him to have it back today." Emily reached for Daniel's hands and held them firmly. "You belong here," she said loudly. "You always did." Then she turned to the guards and the crowd. "This is what a hero looks like. Not polished, not loud, but present when it matters." Applause erupted, echoing off the buildings. People stepped aside, creating a clear path toward the entrance. Emily walked beside Daniel and Noah, security now opening doors with respect as they entered sunlight, followed them inside, and as the doors closed behind them, Daniel felt something, unfamiliar relief, not because he was recognized, but because his son had seen the truth, that dignity does not depend on wealth or appearance, and kindness always reveals itself in time. This story ends here, but its message lives on. If you believe in stories of humanity, courage and kindness, then like, share and subscribe to the channel Soul of Kindness. Your support helps spread stories that matter, so don't forget, like, share and subscribe to Soul of Kindness.